I don't care what you do. You need horsepower.
But as a trainer, I think you bring out the epigenetics based on your whole style. That's my opinion, because you got dogs, they could be genetically nice, but you being an amazing trainer, that's epigenetics. You putting them in an environment for them to reach their full potential. Would you agree with that?
I agree with that. I agree with that. And it also boils down to the rearing of the dog, how that dog was raised. We have a lot of people that come to us, domestic abuse, rape, things of that nature, breaking in entries, all that other kind of stuff. But you've had a dog already and you want to get your dog trained. You've raised that dog for 2 years, but you've raised that dog to be completely nice. Trust everybody. Everybody can come up and pet it. So that even though that dog may have the will to do personal protection, it's going to be a little bit tougher in the learning because it wasn't raised to be a personal protection dog. Certain qualities we want to put in early. You know what I'm saying? We reared it. Like me personally, I can let anybody pet my dogs, but you're not going to pet my dog until after I already know that my dog can bite. Because I'm never going to confuse the dog. This is why we teach people or try to teach people, they tell you, don't feed wild animals. They lose the trust for you. So now a deer, a raccoon, or whatever, a coyote will walk up and just take food out of your hand. When you do it like that, you've destroyed that dog's ability or that animal's ability to be able to decipher right, wrong, good, or bad. This is why you lay bait down the hunt. It's going to come down to the bait. So I never open that door. Once my dog understands what bite is and stuff like that too, I have the training capabilities to be able to put my dog in a situation that you can pet the dog with no problem. We all take our dogs to the vet. They don't struggle. They love our dogs when they come to the vet.
That's a good point because it's a big argument about socialization. So you basically just summed it up right there. That's a great point right there because people.
A lot of people think that socialization means that, first of all, socialization is a big umbrella. Socialization means that your dog could get along with other dogs and thrive pretty good with people. That's a small portion of socialization to a personal protection trainer. You know what I mean? Socialness means that your dog can be able to hang out and there's a train going by, buses, cars, trucks, all that other kind of stuff. The people element is going to come in later. We're in the airports and all of these different places with our dogs. We're not worried about our dogs nailing somebody unprovoked because of the training. Training is the right way. You know what I mean? That we can be okay because that dog's only going to do what I tell it to do. You know what I mean? So I can make it be okay, but that doesn't mean that everybody could just come up and get over your dog and hug it and squeeze it and love on your dog as you can, because dogs have personalities like people. Me, myself, I don't like for people to tap me on the head. It just drives me up the wall. I have no idea why. I probably need to go check with somebody why that ticks me off, but it does. But you have some people, man, you can't get in their face. Some people you can't yell at them. Yeah. Dogs are the same way. Some dogs will take your face off if you just got in their face. My point is that whatever that is, not only do you have to have enough to read it and understand it, but you gotta respect it. It's okay if that dog is like that. We gotta train out of it, or at least respect it. So if I don't want you to tap me on the head, just don't. We're okay. Yeah. That's all. We get into the habit of wanting to fix everything that's wrong. And we think that we can. And sometimes you can't. Or is it worth it? Is it worth swimming upstream? He can tell you. We train a few Labradors that will bite you. That will bite you. Done street protection very well. But that's not MrK9 being some fantastic trainer and managed to convert a Labrador into a personal protection dog. This is those dogs' genetics from the beginning. That's God. We didn't have anything to do with that. We just had to train him. But it had to be in that dog to be able to take the work. True. It goes back to what I was talking about with Muhammad Ali. If he didn't have his physical, mental attributes, that's like saying any coach can make a Muhammad Ali. They can't. Right. That's got to be a genetically sound product first. Then we can go forward.
Now, we for those who are going to listen to this here, Mr. McDuffy and his son Khalil, one of the greatest father and son duos, not just in the U.S., but in the world, period. for people, they can come to you in the Chicago. Well, actually, they can come from anywhere. I'm just saying Chicago because that's where you're based. So you mentioned sports. So if a person had a dog that was interested in IGP, you can also help them, right?
Sure.
What about somebody that needed a dog for what's it called, service dog training, or say if they wanted their dog to do like search and rescue? Do you also do stuff like that as well?
We don't.
Okay.
I think any dog for any service needs one thing to begin with, and that's a basic form of obedience.
Okay.
Service dog work, we don't do it or anything like that, because real service dog work, these dogs are trained and they're trained for a long time, and they have allocated from the government that they pay for that. We're not that place.
Right.
You know what I'm saying? Even if we have the ability, we're not that place.
I got you. Makes sense.
Know what I'm saying? So these are the dogs that are provided by the government. They're provided by the VA, places like that for certain people. And I'm talking about real service dogs, like leaning dogs or dogs for the blind or dogs that can turn on a light or answer the phone for real things. Not a companion dog with what we have a lot of going on now.
Yeah.
You just go online and get you some service dog stuff, and they send you a vest and some pictures and some IDs, and you go anywhere with the dog.
Yeah.
You know what I mean? That's not true to it, and it's going to bother the people that actually need the dog to do that particular type of work. Because when they crash down on it, and they are, when they crash down on it, some of those people are going to slip through those little fine cracks. Like anything else, sometimes we mess it up for everybody.
So for a client, because I'm gonna be sending, because as my channel grow, I'll be talking to people like all across the country and stuff like that. So if I'm gonna definitely send some people to you. So you do boarding trains? Is it like 2 weeks, 4 weeks? How do your boarding trains work?
It can be anywhere from 2 weeks to 6 months. It depends on the type of dog, the age of the dog, and the type of work that you need done. So we do dogs from across the country right now.
Okay.
You know? And so people send dogs in to us from all over the place. You know what I mean, to get trained. So now 2 weeks are basic obedience. Heel, sit, stay, down, stay, and a recall, both verbal and with hand signals. You want to go off leash, a little bit longer. We assess the dog first. That's going to tell us if this is going to be a 60-day, a 90-day situation. We attach the price to that according to what we have to put into the dog.
Yeah.
Protection. Difficult to take a dog from a puppy all the way through to personal protection, and it stays with you. That's a long time from its owner, because there's developmental stages that goes in there.
Right.
There's 3 levels of obedience that goes in there: beginner, intermediate, advanced. Most of the times you can get your advanced obedience and everything done before the dog is old enough to be tested if it can take a bite.
True.
So those dogs we send home. They get older, they come back. Give you an example. We've started some pit bulls, corsos, shepherds out in aggression work. They've been 9, 10 months old. They dive right into it real good. We had some dogs that we tested. We have to wait until they're 1.5 years, 2 years old. It's all about the development of the dog. We don't force anything. And every dog can't do it. That's all. So once we give the assessment, most of our work can be anywhere in between 2 weeks and 6 months. We do have people that want everything done: obedience, agility, and protection.
Oh, agility too. Okay.
Yeah, we do agility as well.
Nice.
We have the capabilities of doing scent work also. Now, most of our work, the general public comes to us, they get basic obedience. Those that want to go a little bit further end up going into off leash. Our mainstay in our classes, in our in kennels, it's just a 2-3 week obedience program with the 6 basic obedience commands. It's just that some people get into it, they like it, they want more. Some people start out wanting more. Some people, it's just enough. Let me be able to go to the vet, PetSmart, and have no problems or anything like that, and we're okay. Whatever it is, we're capable of giving it to you if that's the case. If it's anything beyond what we can do, we pass that on to somebody else. We're not the training mecca. You know what I'm saying? I got a friend here. People come in, they asked about shitting or something like that. I got a guy I'm going to send them to. We ain't got to try to take that on ourselves. You know what I mean? We don't get enough of it anyway. You know what I mean? I stopped doing police work because of that same situation. We used to do police dogs. When they started coming in once, twice, 3 times a year, that's not enough. I get 50 dogs to come in off the street from the general public. You know what I mean? So it's not for me to sustain, but there's other dog training facilities that might be all they do is police dogs. If that's the case, I got some people that's probably 20 minutes from me that can handle all of that. So we send it to where
That's
that's
nice.
take care of it.
That's
we don't
great.
try to hoard it all.
That's actually that's great business and honorable for you to do that, because we know some people, even if they can't do it, they'll lie. So that's that they just make it up like they can do it.
That's not going to get you
Let
far.
me quiet my dog down. Give me 2 seconds.
Go ahead. Take your time. Need to go ahead and just put them in a crate, send them on up here to get trained, man. You won't have to worry about that in your interviews.
Sorry about that. Just had to
No
quiet
problem.
you down a little bit. So you do that right there. So you working with the pup. You being serviceable to the community. Was you always? You was born and raised in Chicago, right?
Yes.
Okay. Now you mentioned earlier you. What other type of like career paths did you take besides dog training? Did you ever?
I was an auto mechanic for 15 years.
Oh, so that's another talent. Okay.
See, I went to school, went to Lincoln Technical Institute.
Oh,
Learned
okay.
to work on cars. I wasn't necessarily a gearhead. I just like to work on cars. So I was never going to build a car to race or anything like that. I like the fix and repair method of dealing with cars.
Okay.
I'm more of a motorcycle guy. I
Mm.
raced motorcycles professionally on the IDBA circuit. I got 5 motorcycles right now today.
Whoa.
So I'm more of a motorcycle guy more versus cars. But I went to school for technical advancement as far as cars and everything is concerned, started that out. I got introduced into dogs, you know what I mean? And after about a few years when I was training dogs for free, because I just wanted to get the experience underneath me and see if I could fix some things on my own, I realized then that I could probably make some money from doing this. So I came home, told my family, my kids, I'm getting ready to give up all the mechanics. I'm going straight into dog training. And everybody was like, you have got to be out of your mind. You're going to give up a perfectly good trade that you like to do to train dogs, but they didn't, understand my passion for what I was doing. I understood at that point that I was good enough to do it, so I just stepped out on it and said, hey, look, let me give it a try. I trained dogs from my home, probably for the first few years until I was able to just get a facility as far as that's concerned. But once I'd done that, I've never looked back, never missed anything. Payment or anything like that. It worked for me. It brought to me very good friendships and relationships. It gave me exposure to, a lot of pro athletes, things of that nature. I trained 25 dogs for the Minister Louis Farrakhan. You know what I mean? So it put me in a lot of places that I'm grateful for. And I've made a lot of alliances. And each and every one of those relationships and alliances, I passed on to my son. He's carrying it on after me. I'm 61. I'm about done. That bouncing around in front of dogs and taking hits and all that other kind of stuff. I could teach a class all day. I could teach a class in my 70s.
We gotta get you. I asked him. I said, do you do seminars? We gotta get you doing seminars, man. I'm gonna do my best to put you out. So it's
funny that you would even mention that, man, because we were actually sitting down talking the same thing. That's the next level for me.
Yeah, that's what I would love for you to do seminars, just your knowledge. And did you ever consider writing a book? You and your son, you ever consider writing a book?
We sat down and we talked about that because there's a famous book that's running around now that came from Earl Jones, and everybody's trying to get their hands on it right now. But we're gonna go past that. You know what I mean? So we're gonna take it from that point and bring it up to the modern day. Yeah. So we are talking about writing a book. So
we're gonna put that in the universe. Your book is gonna be coming out and it's gonna change the game. I can definitely see that happening. And your seminars. We got to get you doing those seminars where you can do it in Chicago and just start spreading all throughout the country. That's what I noticed about a lot of top trainers, whether they're in Canada, they do a lot of seminars and people.
Seminars can help. Seminars can help a great deal. You can kill a few birds with one stone by doing seminars, and you can sometimes you can mention a few things that'll spark something in people. You know what I mean? So beneficial is what it is definitely needed. We don't look at this as a secret and we try to hoard it. We're willing to pass it out to anybody that's willing to kind of pick it up and take it the right way.
But you deserve to get paid for it, though.
I'm not finna knock that at all. You know what I'm saying? Not finna knock that one bit.
Y'all deserve to get paid for it. Like
something similar to seminars, man, like what we would do now is we've had multiple people, man, contact us all throughout the country, and they may want to get us maybe for a weekend here or maybe 4 days there. Now, to sometimes subsequent that price for that, we'll tell people, well, hey, go out and get about 6 people or 7 people at this price, 6 or 10 people at this price. Then now that'll kind of cut down on the initial price that the one person who wants to host it does. And we've done this, man, numerous times. Like I said, throughout my lifetime, I'm pretty sure throughout his, man, where we'll go to, man, anywhere. Like I said, New York, LA, Florida, man, Texas, Tennessee. Anywhere, man, for about 3 to 4 days. Sometimes if it's a weekend, sometimes it's 4 days. We have it in our ability to be able to schedule that. So now we can go and kind of not miss a beat here.
Yeah, you come to Atlanta, I'm definitely showing up for sure.
We're coming to Atlanta. We've been to Atlanta a few times, but we're coming back to Atlanta for more than just dogs. But we'll be back in Atlanta. So if that's where you're from,
that's where I'm at.
We got your information.
Yeah.
As a matter of fact, we'll be in Atlanta this year.
Yeah.
And it'll be nothing, but that's exactly what I'm saying, man. You can sit back, you can coordinate 10 people, 15 people that'll come out. You know what I mean? But now that'll actually give us a reason to be down there for 3 days, for 4 days. But now we can actually get some solid work and some consistent work done with all of these dogs.
Like you said, you basically semi-retired.
Yeah.
You said you were 61, and then now your son is blazing the trail, and that's an amazing thing. The amazing thing to say, because for me, I'm not making excuses. I'm very happy to be alive. I never even met my dad. So for you, Khalil, to have this is like you know how people talk about generational curses? You actually got generational blessings. So it's 2 curses and blessings. So shout out to Mr. McDuffy and you for passing on generational blessings to your son. That's amazing.
No problem.
No, definitely, man. And I definitely don't take that lightly, man. Just being exposed to it from a young age, man. Looking at it from my lens and just looking outward. From the countless amount of times, man, that I've had people walk up to me and just tell me about my father, man. Tell me what type of man he is, man, how true he is to his word. It's definitely a little bit of weight on my shoulders, but I carry that weight proudly, man, just to be able to walk in those footsteps of the same greatness, man, that he was able to lay down before me. So it never is a day that goes, you know what I mean, like uncounted for this blessing that he was actually able to give me, man. Even now, the way that I equate it, man, as a child, dog training was able to get me anything it is that I ever wanted. That comes down to phones, shoes, the latest clothes, man. If I wanted to go out for the weekend, no matter what it is that I wanted to do, man, dog training afforded me to be able to do that. So to me, man, at this point, man, I owe my life to it. I owe my life to dog training, man, because I've seen it actually be able to be done. I've seen my father in his footsteps raise a family on dog training. So now to be able to take that same thing, man, and follow in those footsteps as well. Me, myself, I'm now raising my family off of dog training, where this is what I do, man, from a 9 to 5, a 7-day business. This is literally what I do going forward. So if I do not train dogs, man, no bacon hits the table. So just being able to be set up with those type of tools, man, to actually feed and provide for myself and not alone, but let alone my family, it's an amazing thing to actually go through, man.
And I forgot to ask you, do you do online, like Zoom training? Do you also do that? Are you able to do that? Like, because like I said, a lot of times it's not really feasible for a person in London to come to you. However, if you can train them one-on-one through the comfort of their couch, are you able to do that too?
We've had things set up for it, but same thing like what we were speaking about earlier, man, it just really wasn't enough people that were kind of clamoring on to it. Never opposed to it, man, especially nowadays with today's technology. We've got plenty of cameras, we've got plenty of microphones, we got plenty of dogs to be able to illustrate and show anybody anywhere exactly what it is they want to get done with their dogs, man. So if anybody wants to reach out to us as far as that, we're not opposed to it.
Okay. Yeah.
Real quick, thing you mentioned about Atlanta is just why I want to interject it. Met some great guys down there that do some dog training. I consider them friends, you know what I mean? But they know what they're doing as far as moving around a dog and everything is concerned. You know what I mean? I would shout them out, but I haven't spoke to any of them. But it's some good people down there as far as dogs is concerned.
Yeah. That's what's up right there. So what would this is a question for both of you. What would the 2024 version of you guys say to the 2014 version of yourself? What advice would you give the 2014 version of yourself?
The same thing that I gave him when he was a younger guy. If you do what I tell you to do and how I tell you to do it, and you absorb the knowledge like he has done up until this point, I guarantee you, the time that you start in this training, you'll be able to retire at 40. You don't have to work until you're 50 or 60. Just follow my blueprint. You'll have people coming for you. People coming to you willing to pay you good money for this work. But if you just worked your tail off for 20, 25 years, 40 or 45, you could sit back with a facility and have your children run it like how I'm setting up for him to do it.
Generational wealth.
Absolutely.
Indeed.
Generational wealth. So 2024, where do you want it, Khalil, where do you want to take this for 5 years down the line, 10 years down the line, and carry on your father's legacy? Where do you want to take MrK9.net, MrK9 dog training?
Well, ultimately, man, the goal is for me to franchise. So I know it's not very popular now, or it's not as popular as it once was, but if I could turn myself, man, into the quote unquote Black PetSmart, the Black Petco, where now I have facilities all across this country, that'll be the goal it is that I'm looking for, man. Now, if I can put a MrK9, first of all, if we can set up the Midwest, have multiple facilities, not only in Illinois, but Indiana, Ohio, Wisconsin, Michigan, and all these different type of places, then I slowly try to take over the country. But I think the biggest thing and the biggest problem with that would just be quality control as far as dog training. But under a careful and a watchful eye, I'm more than sure that it can be done, especially when it just starts to talk about providing for pet people. When you start talking about providing wholesale or retail, dog food, man, dog crates, leashes, collars. I want to be a distributor of that, man. I want to be able to provide pretty much anybody, whatever. If you're a small dog person, if you're a big dog person, if you're a mixed breed, if you're a purebred, if you're a specific breed person, I want to be able to actually comfort your needs. So whatever it is you can need as far as a dog training, come to me for it. I don't want to turn anybody away. You know what I mean? If you're looking forward for anything dog related, I would want you to bring up MrK9 for it. So whether that be, and even speaking futuristically, if that could be for movies, music videos, man, if it could be for anything, like anything that you could think of that wants or has something dealing with dogs, I want you to mention MrK9 for it.
And we was talking when I met you, Khalil, we was talking about how the challenge is social media is a good thing, but it takes a lot of work. It takes a lot of work, bro.
Indeed, man. It's a job in itself.
Yeah,
for sure.
It's a lot of stuff in there. So I just got a few more questions before we get out of here. And once again, I appreciate you taking my time. You definitely inspired me to be a better person and everything. What would y'all say? What are some of y'all favorite this is personal questions, not training. What are some of y'all favorite top 4 or 5 breeds to have and own as far as dog breeds?
Well, here, I'll give you a top 5, man. I haven't probably owned
or just your favorite, yeah, because I got
dogs is on the list, man. But right, a quick top 5 for me. One, I'm gonna go right off the back, man. I want a Dogo Argentina bad. I want a Dogo Argentina bad, man. I've always seen them, man. I've always admired them. I love just the build, man. Yeah, I feel like you get the essence of a pit bull, man, just in a bigger stature, just in a bigger setting. And I don't say that to say I don't think that the pit bull needs anything. I think it's a perfect breed as it is. Same thing with the Dogo Argentina, man. I just think it's a perfect breed. I never had the situation, or I never had the opportunity to get one as a puppy and raise one for my own. I've trained multiple, but to actually sit back and understand that this is what I'm building up to actually kind of do protection for me. A dog of that type of warrior spirit, man, that has that type of tenacity and that type of drive, I'd love to own one. 2, I'd probably put Doberman. Of course, a nice Rottweiler, pit bull all day long. And I'm not gonna lie to you, man. I'm a fan of a small breed. I like Pomeranian. So if I could have a nice like Pomeranian, man, it was kind of like sporty, they would bounce around all over the place with a nice attitude, I'd have that all day long.
I'm sure you probably be working. You have a heel and doing all types.
You know, just a nice man, a Pomeranian with some spunk, man. Just to be able to see him run around and just be able to play rough like a big dog, dude. I love it.
I'm sure they had some original purpose. What about you, Mr. Duffy? What's your
I've had pretty much everything that I've wanted already. You know what I mean? By way of Pitbull, Corso, Dobie, Shepherd. I was introduced to a breed some years ago called the cow, the Fila or Fila.
Fila Brasileiro?
No, not that one.
Oh, okay.
Big staunch difference in between the two. This one's from Portugal. And I've had very good luck with it, and it's probably one of the few dogs that will remind me of the dogs that we were dealing with in the 80s and the 90s. If I was younger, if I was my son's age now, I would definitely be trying to get my hands on a Kango. Other than that, I pretty much had almost everything that I've wanted to deal with.
Kangos. I like Kangos as well.
They're too old for that now, man. They're too big. It's work. Younger man, I deal with it.
Yeah. So how do you feel like as a trainer, when you become a decoy, does it enhance your knowledge and ability to train dogs as a decoy? Because me personally, I got a little small dog. I professional. I do dog walk. I got a dog walking and dog training business. I'm not on like, of course, y'all level, but I do this, make a living. I've been doing it for years. And I was interested, like maybe I should learn how to do some decoy work so I can understand dogs better. Would you say that helps you out?
Well, when you say decoy work, that's basically our terminology of that is someone that's going to catch your dog.
Okay.
That's different than an agitator or somebody that's going to develop your dog.
Oh, okay. Okay. So it's a difference.
Okay. Right. To me, there's a difference in between the two. Now, to do personal protection, I think, and I've always instilled this in my son, that to be the best trainer that you could be for personal protection, you need to know both sides of the dog. You need to know behind the dog and in front of the dog, which means you need to know exactly what you're doing as far as obedience is concerned. You need to know what you're doing as far as agitation is concerned. There's a lot of people that can churn out a very good personal protection dog, but they done nothing as far as the aggression work is concerned. That was done by someone else. So if I understand what's going on the other side of the dog, I can help direct that on my end from being behind the dog and direct the person that's in front of the dog as to what I want, when, where, and how. Obedience, you definitely need to be on point. And I don't care if it's a 200-pound dog or a 2-pound dog. Obedience is needed no matter what. Right.
Now, would you say would you say like you grew up, you like an OG in the game, you grew up with the old school tactics. Is some of the, because it's like you said earlier, it's always a thing between old school and new school with the dog training. What's your perception on that? Because some people, they like, I would never use treats. I will only use praise and I only use pets. And then some people, they don't even want to correct their dog now. I'm sure you heard of the 4th Street community. They don't correct their dog at all.
Of course. Of course. I'm that person. I don't do treats or anything like that. You know what I'm saying? I can turn a dog out to look like it has treats, that I've used treats. We have that ability. But the difference in between the two, I think when people argue it, is that they don't understand it. They're arguing something that you don't understand. If I have that argument with someone my age or older that came from back then, it really wouldn't be an argument. The argument is with the new generation that is starting to understand and doing things that's different. Again, I don't think any of it is wrong. And even when you start talking about old school dog training, personal protection or whatever the case may be, even just with basic obedience, you got some people out there that's barbaric. And you have some people out there that's doing it in a way that everybody can kind of comprehend it, but you have to explain what it is that you're talking about versus what you're doing. So for instance, I would never give a hardest hitting dog competition that you see all across the country where people let the dogs go. They go down there, they slam into the person. We fall in love with the collision. I love to see it. It's like a heavyweight boxing match or a good hit on a football field. I love to see it. But to me, to hold that particular type of competition without the ability to be able to out your dog, does the dog and everything you're doing a misjustice. Because if I'm a layman person or a green-eyed person, and I look at that and I see this pit bull go down there and slam the hell out of somebody and be like, wow, that was intense. Then this person has to go down, that person has to drop the sleeve, or you have to choke it off the bite. I'm saying, you know what? Maybe what they say is true. These dogs don't know how to let go. They lock on you. So it's the impression that you're giving to someone. To me, the most beautiful part of the hardest hidden is the out. Where's your training at if you can't get the dog off?
Yeah.
We see that every day on television. We see pit bulls and other dogs get on other people and other dogs, cop dogs, police dogs get on people. They can't get them off.
Right.
The most beautiful part of that is your control, is your obedience. It is your out.
Yeah. Because I was just looking at your video again, and yours just like went out like in the first. You didn't have to repeat it. So that's amazing.
Sometimes you don't get a second chance. You know what I mean?
Yeah.
So we try to be exact. You know what I mean? But like I said, old school, new school, to me just depends on what it is that you want. Those people that believe in those methods, okay, since you put it like that, spank your kid, don't spank your kid. You're gonna have people that say, hey, no, I'm gonna step off on them. And you got some people that's gonna do the timeout.
Yeah.
Whatever works for you, that's gonna give you the best result per that kid, because that's what it boils down to. Every dog is not gonna be able to be tree trained.
True.
We get some dogs that come in here, man, if you don't put a choke collar on them and make a good correction, you're going to get yourself severely damaged. Plain and simple. Make no mistake about it.
Yeah. And that's what some people don't understand. They equate corrections with abuse. People so in love with it, they think you correcting. So go ahead.
Well, the truth of the matter is that they'll dub that dog untrainable.
Yeah. And they get put down. Yeah.
They'll get put down. And oftentimes we're that last stop. We're that stop that they say, hey, look, if you can't fix it, we're going to have to put them down. I don't care what it is that we do to the dog, it's going to be better than what you got. That's just the bottom line. As long as the dog is not retarded or psychotic, you know, and in 35 years, I've seen a few of those, legitimately. As long as it's not that, whatever we do, we can make it better than what it was typically. You know what I mean? But it boils down to, you got some people that carry guns, some people don't. Some people don't want to do violence, some people thrive on it. It just depends on what's going to float your boat.
Right.
So I'm not, you know, I have nothing against anybody in whatever method that they use. If it doesn't go against whatever it is that my morals may be and the standards of what it is that I'm doing. My son has more training methods than me, and I'm extremely versatile, but he has more training methods than I do. And I've watched some of the stuff that he does that I would not do, and I'm saying, man, that works out pretty good. You know what I mean? So you have to be an understanding of it. First of all, you have to always be a student. You can't grow up and be the master trainer and you learn no more. That's impossible. You can learn off of, I don't care how long you've been doing it, how great you are at it. You can always learn from someone, or some dog's going to come in and show you or teach you something that you did not know. That's why you should always pay attention.
So you saying Khalil has more techniques. So we playing a game of hypotheticals. We got a competition. Who coming in first place? The father or the son? Who's gonna come in first place?
Man, stop playing. I'm always coming in first. I'm always coming in first.
Khalil,
I'm just joking. At the finish line, man. I'll let him go past.
I'm just joking. And at some point in time, before I get too old, we'll have our Rocky moment. You know what I'm saying? So we'll go down somewhere on the field in the basement and we'll compete against each other with all the windows.
That'd be good. I would like to see it. That'd be nice.
I mean, we'll see what's gonna happen as far as that's concerned.
That'd be nice. Man.
Good guy, got good technique, producing good dogs. I mean, I trust him with my clients.
No, that's amazing. So we definitely gonna link up. Let me know, Khalil, when you come into Atlanta. We got to get your seminars and books. Anything else you want to say to the people that's going to be watching this worldwide? Because I'm going to put it on YouTube and I'm going to put it on Instagram and probably Facebook as well. Anything you want to say to the people? Because, like I said, you're an underground legend just off one video.
Well, all dogs, I think, need to be trained. Get with somebody, just get with somebody that's going to work out well for you and get your dog trained. We get a ton of dogs from Petco, PetSmart, stuff like that because they want to do more. There's a place for dogs that can go to Petco and PetSmart. That method may work for most. They draw in a lot. You know what I mean? Get with whatever it fits for you, whatever you can afford, and get some training done. I guess the bottom line of what I'm saying is if you own a dog, get it trained, man. That's all. You wouldn't have, well, I ain't gonna say that because there's some people out there that do, but you seek education for your children. Your dog's gonna be with you 8, 10, 12, 15 years, needs to be educated. Get some training done. And we need to really consider bridging this gap in between old school, new school.
Yeah, I think so too.
It's okay to be all right with everybody. I got no qualms with nobody. If that's your,
I believe so too, because you can learn from both sides.
Absolutely, absolutely.
And you say that because certain people are so attached to their side,
right?
They prevent themselves from being a better teacher and student,
True.
all because they attach. It's human psychology is a crazy thing when you get attached to certain things. So on Instagram, where can they find you on Instagram?
We're at MrK9 Jr. We also have another Instagram, MrK9 Dog Training. You can find us. Go ahead.
Oh no, I'm listening. I'm looking. I didn't see it down there. So MrK9.
No, it's all good. On Facebook, we got MrK9 Dog Training. Instagram, MrK9_Jr. Another Instagram, MrK9 Dog Training. Snapchat, MrK9 Dog Trainer. YouTube, MrK9 Chicago. 3 things, man, before you come out, before we break off, before we leave.
Yeah, say whatever.
I don't want to say correct you, man, but I don't want to use the term underground legend, man, because when you speak from Chicago, man, you speak from the aspect, man, in which he set forth, you just got to say legend, period, man. No, I don't think that there's a place or a person in Chicago, man, who cannot say they've heard of the name MrK9 Dog Training. Yeah. So just at least within the Midwest, man, especially like with numerous amounts of dogs that he's had, man, throughout the years.
Yeah.
Each and every person, man, can tell you, or they can pick an era. You could pick the 80s, you could pick the 90s, you could pick the early 2000s. Each and every era he had a dog in, man, and he was significant. I remember a very good portion of my childhood, man, where we were getting a bunch of turnarounds from Petco, where that was possibly our biggest competition in the city. Yeah. You know what I mean? Like, it's just as far as getting dogs, and from the amount of people that we've had, man, on group classes, on private sessions, the amount of in-kennels that we do a year. I don't want to use the term underground. You know what I mean? We're mainstream, man. We are it. We are the destination when you start talking about dog training. We are Chicago's premier dog trainer. I don't care what avenue, what street, what boulevard you go to, man. Somebody here has heard of MrK9, and that's just due to the good reputation he set forth, man. Like I said, the many years before I was even conceived. Secondly, man, not disagreeing with nothing that he said, but I do believe I'm a little bit in the middle of the spectrum, man. I'm about cleverness. So if I can get a dog cleverly, man, to be able to get a behavior quicker or sooner or stronger, I'll use it. I'm not opposed to either method, man, because I understand that you're never going to lose no tool that's in your tool bag. You know what I mean? So to start here and evolve and go here, or to acquire this just to be able to make this same goal easier, I'm for it all day long. And just to piggyback off of what it is that you were saying, dog training becomes a lot more interesting when you do start to add in the psychology of it and the deeper understanding of why. So the moment you start to question why a dog does something, I think is when you start to unlock kind of more deeper knowledge of dog training. So to first understand it, you got to understand that behaviors invoke emotions, or emotions evoke behaviors. So the moment I understand that this dog, and that kind of leans into behavior modification as well. But if I understand that this dog feels a certain type of way, or this triggers this dog to feel this certain type of way, and being able to break that down and understand why, and then now understand how to change that behavior, all without, and some of it is force-free. You know what I mean? It's an amazing thing to be able to go through and be able to see and do it and apply it, especially when you take it from the book and actually apply it to the dog. You can talk about tons of theories, man, and tons of people who's actually been through this stuff, man. Like I said, way before me, but it's interesting just to be able to apply it from one spectrum to another.
Yeah.
Thirdly, I like to just say, man, look out for us going into the future. We are taking down everything that you see kind of on social media now, just kind of giving everything a breath of fresh air to now actually be able to collect a few videos that we're actually working on now to be able to post up and have a new library, an updated library. So we don't want that video that's from 2007 to be the only video that you recognize us from. So going forward into the future, just be able to look out for us, like, comment, share, subscribe. We're going into the future pretty much blazing, man, with all brand new videos, breaking down training, whether it be grooming, light grooming, not nothing super heavy, man, as far as like cutting and things of that nature. But yeah, anything, like I said, dog, man, going forward, we're going to be actually posting and talking about. We'll be doing reviews on dog food. We'll be doing reviews on, man, crates, anything, like I said, dog related. We'll be kind of like the destination place you want to go to.